All right, episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again. Just starting it out last week, man. Big start for Foggy Nelson in particular, who ended up dying. Supposedly, a lot of people now have theories that maybe he's not dead. But the show started off with 2 episodes. I thought they were pretty good. And I actually think I enjoy, it started off with a big moment, of course, last week. But I think this episode was really interesting. I actually was pretty engaged with the episode. I was pretty interested in it. And it was literally mostly just like the courtroom stuff and, the legal side, because they're covering the trial of Hector, whatever his name, White Tiger. We're covering the trial of him because of what happened to him last week and where he got entangled in the dirty cop business, where while he was fighting a few dirty cops, one of them ended up stumbling in front of a train, and now he's on trial for murder. So that's kind of where this episode is set. And I was really interested in this one. It was pretty good. Wilson Fisk, and we're getting some parallels again with Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock, where they are both currently trying to, once again, more Matt again, because Matt's done this before, where he's trying to live his life without being Daredevil. He's kind of always in between, man, maybe I shouldn't be Daredevil, maybe I should be. We all know it's who he is, but he's trying to not be who he is. And another person who's also trying not to be who he is in this show, at least as of right now, at least publicly, he's not trying to be himself, is Wilson Fisk. And publicly, he is trying to get a new persona of, I'm not that man anymore. I'm not that crazy crime man anymore. I'm not doing those things anymore, when in reality we all know that that's not who he really is. But Wilson Fisk is now the mayor, of course, and he's trying to build up this public persona and image that he is, this great, awesome new guy who's no longer who he once was. And I don't think that's going to last. Something's going to happen. Something big is going to happen with this eventually, I think. But right now he's trying to keep it subdued and try not to, keep it all public. And then he's got the whole thing with Vanessa and her kind of running the business in a weird way. And it's kind of a weird thing with him and Vanessa, but he's still kind of like in charge, really. But we got the parallel again with Matt kind of washing his fists off after beating up a few of the dirty cops that were coming to kill the only witness at the crime scene of the whole White Tiger incident with the dirty cops. So that's what happened at the end of last episode. He kind of unleashed the Daredevil in him a little bit. So we got that. And then basically the whole episode is the in-between of, the trial for Hector Ayala. And he is the White Tiger vigilante that has been introduced in this season. And, obviously I've mentioned already, he's been entangled in this whole trial of this apparent murder, cop murder. And they're trying to prove his innocence in this and what really happened in this, and where the guy stumbled in front of the train. Initially, they try to have that witness that was, at the scene, try to take the stand and kind of prove and tell his story of what happened. But he ends up getting scared. All the dirty cops in the room and whatnot probably got to him or something like that. And he kind of ran off the stand and said, no, I actually wasn't there that night. They weren't doing nothing to me. So they have that situation beginning of the episode where, the only witness there to prove the potential innocence here of Hector gets scared off. So we're kind of put in this big predicament, and then we get into some kind of like a Hail Mary of trying to, prove the heroic acts and the innocence of Hector. So as I mentioned, Wilson Fisk and Vanessa, I don't know how it's going to end up, because, obviously, the last few seasons that we saw with them, they were very like lockstep with each other. Like they were very much working together. And even at the end of season 3, she was like fully like, you know what, let's do this. She even ordered the killing of an FBI agent. So she's like fully in now. She's like running the business and everything. But, now they're kind of at odds, and she had this other man that she was like apparently seeing while he was just gone, like the last few years or whatever. And that whole thing is weird. I kind of hope it gets resolved, because they've kind of been this team throughout the original show. And it would be kind of cool to see the team kind of come back together here with these two and just kind of become this villainous duo again. So something I mentioned last week is this niece of Ben Urich from, season 1 of Daredevil. She came into the episode last week, and I thought it was kind of cool, a little bit of a tie-in to that reporter from season 1. And I thought it was kind of cool at first. But now that we're getting these little cuts of this BB report news thing or whatever, blog or whatever it is she does, she like records people on the street. I'm getting really sick of it really quickly. I'm so sick and tired of seeing it like pop up through the episode. I don't care. I don't care about these random people that are just like talking about like, maybe like the trial that's happening or whatnot, like random citizens on the street. I don't care at all. It's kind of annoying, actually. And she's obviously going to be playing a bigger role because Wilson calls her into his room later to get involved with the whole vigilante thing and what happens with Hector later. But man, the whole BB report, I don't like it. I don't like it so far. It's kind of one of the really annoying things for me right now. It doesn't bother me too much really, but when it does show up, it does kind of bother me a little bit. So at the trial, Matt actually ended up letting out the secret that Hector is actually the White Tiger, and that is his only final play. It's his Hail Mary, because the only witness they had ran off the stand, and he was scared. So his Hail Mary is to let everyone know and the jury know that this is a hero. This man is actually a hero, and he's the White Tiger vigilante. But he's a hero. You got to hear about all these different things that he's done. That's something they get into a little bit later. But he is a hero who has saved a bunch of people, and that is the play he's going for. But we have this scene after that, that one day on the trial, where Matt and Hector are talking in his cell, and it's like, well, that wasn't your secret to tell everyone. And now Matt's even telling him, like, well, you cannot be the White Tiger anymore after this. You just, you can't be. That's kind of a little bit of a nod to what ends up happening later. But, you cannot be the White Tiger anymore. People know who he is now and whatnot. And when Matt says you can't be the White Tiger anymore, Hector's like, well, that's who I am, though. I can't just not be the White Tiger, man. I think the whole episode is literally just a play on, the parallels between him and Matt, really, because he's Daredevil and he's kind of given up his vigilante, his work as a vigilante with Daredevil, and it's this once again kind of parallel to being he's got to be who he is, and we all know Daredevil's going to come out again. He's going to be Daredevil again. You can't really have this show without him being Daredevil at some point again. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long. But right now, I mean, I still love all the stuff with, him just as Matt Murdock anyways. So honestly, I'm okay with it so far, but we do need to get the Daredevil at some point here. But yeah, it is interesting to see the little parallels, like the little teasing, like the slow teasing towards like, yeah, you know what? Daredevil is who you are. The White Tiger is who Hector is. They need to be who they are. And that is kind of something Matt has already dealt with before in previous seasons. So it's like we're waiting for him to do it again. So they bring up the whole him being a hero at the trial. He's saying, why did you do all these things? Why did you save all these people when you didn't have to? And he's like, well, it's the right thing to do. And it's what he says over and over again. He wins over the jury, and he is found not guilty of all the charges. And that is a great, wondrous win for Matt Murdock and whoever his other law lady is. I don't even know her name, but the other lady he does business with. They won the case. It's awesome. It's a good happy ending. Hector gets free, but he has it in his mind that he probably shouldn't be the White Tiger anymore. But of course, we'll see where that goes at the end. But it's a very good win at the end. He wins the trial, and someone who's not happy about that win is Wilson Fisk. And Wilson Fisk hears about it at the very end. He's not too happy about it. And we get scenes of, Hector suiting up as the White Tiger again at the very end. So even though he's free and he was pretty much aware that he probably shouldn't be running around as the White Tiger anymore, he goes and does it again anyways. He runs out on the street. And as Wilson Fisk is like giving this like monologue speech of the rule of law must prevail or whatever, it almost kind of seems like maybe he's the one that orders what happens to Hector here in a moment. But I don't think it really is. I think it's, I don't know. I don't think he really had a hand in it. I could be wrong. He could have, but I don't think it's coming off that way. But Hector is killed. Like, it seems immediately. I don't know how long he was out on the street that night, but it seems pretty quickly. Like, he is killed by some hooded, mysterious man there in the corner as he's running around on the street. So Hector is killed instantly, shot in the head, and he's killed. So Hector's dead after being freed. Probably shouldn't have gone out in the suit anymore, but obviously, he told Matt, like, I am the White Tiger. It's who I am. So it's not too surprising that he did go out again. But Hector is killed, so he did not last long, at least in this show. Again, I'm not a comic guy, so I don't know how long or big of a character this was in the comics, so maybe a lot of people may be upset that this character was killed. I'm not too sure, but it does kind of suck that, like, we had this whole thing with this guy, and now he's just instant killed, like, just like that, he's gone. So it is kind of interesting, but it does lead up to this very, very interesting storyline that we are definitely teasing slowly here, and that is the Punisher stuff. So the Punisher stuff, we all know that we're getting Frank Castle in this season, but we've been seeing all these dirty cops in this last 3 episodes so far, with the Punisher logo on like tattoos and stuff. And now we got this guy at the very end who killed Hector, walking off like he's got the big Punisher logo right on his chest, just like Frank did. But I'm pretty certain this is not Frank Castle. He wouldn't have killed Hector like that. He just wouldn't have done that. So we got people out here running around with the Punisher logos, the dirty cops. You got now this, fake Punisher, whatever guy out there now, like running around doing stuff. And we're obviously going to have to bring in Frank himself at some point to kind of get involved. I mean, this is his logo. This is like the Punisher. He's going to get involved somehow with people now having his logo everywhere like this. He's going to find out, someone's going to tell him, and he's going to get involved again. And we all know that Matt does end up, I don't know, maybe going to see him at some point. We have that very short little scene in the trailers that we know of for Frank. But I'm really looking forward to see Frank back. Jon Bernthal is a great actor, and watching, him in his show, especially season 1 of Punisher, I really liked it. It was fun. He was awesome. He was great in Walking Dead too, by the way. I do cover Walking Dead on this channel. But he was really great in Walking Dead, but great as Punisher, and I'm looking forward to seeing him back. I think he's going to be a great addition. I hope he's in it a lot. I don't know how much of his story will be in this season, but man, I know we're getting a special with the Punisher as well that they announced, but I really like the character of the Punisher. And again, I'm new to it all, but I only just watched the show before this, and I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. So we're getting more into the Punisher stuff. Really exciting there. I do like that. If there was only one really big thing that I don't like right now, is that we don't have the characters of Karen and Foggy. Obviously we now have the rumors that people are throwing theories around, because apparently it happened in the comics where Foggy was actually not killed and he faked his death or something. Again, this is all just things I've heard on videos and stuff, because I have not read the comics. I don't know what happened in the comics, but people now think that Foggy might not be dead. We'll have to see what happens. But Karen's obviously not dead, but she's also not in the show right now. She was literally now living in San Francisco or something. I don't know why they decided to do that, but I don't like that Karen is definitely alive and well and just isn't in the show. That is really weird. It's still interesting with all the Punisher stuff, and Matt Murdock, of course, is great. Charlie Cox is Matt Murdock, and the Kingpin stuff is also very fascinating. So I'm into this so far. I'm really enjoying it. As quite normie as I am for superhero and comic books and comic characters and stuff, I'm just a normie. I watch the movies, I watch the shows, and I enjoyed the shows. I enjoyed Daredevil, I enjoyed Punisher, and I'm enjoying what they're now doing with these characters. And hopefully it doesn't kind of fall apart. I mean, I know Marvel's had some rough patches here with these shows, but right now it seems pretty interesting to me. I'm curious. This is the most interested I've been in a Marvel show in a while. I've been skipping some of them because they've just been so bad. I know you had Daredevil in She-Hulk, and I remember watching She-Hulk. Awful show, and I'm trying to forget every moment of that because I don't want to remember it. But this so far, no stupid silly jokes thrown around every once in a while like a MCU movie or show would. It's just they're trying to be serious about it, they're trying to be dark about it, and I like that as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more Punisher stuff. That's what I'm really looking forward to right now. So we'll see what happens. Episode 3 was pretty damn good.